What's up, everybody? Back again. Another week, another show. So this really sucks. There's not much going on. NFL training camp is coming up, though. So we're getting into what we can actually expand into a legit, good conversation show. Right now, we can talk about things like how not every rookie is signed yet. Giants just signed Saquon Barkley. That dude's contract is unreal. He got it fully guaranteed. He's making like $31.8 million off of it, along with like a $20 million signing bonus. So he definitely got put to the right place. But there's about 5 or 6, I thought, other first round picks that haven't been signed yet by anybody. So I'm sure they'll sign him here eventually. Yeah, some random dude, Molinari, I think is how you say it, won the British Open today. Never heard of the dude ever. I don't even remember what his last name is, or first name is. Is like, I want to say it's like Florence, but I don't think that's what it is. We can talk about All-Star Game. That was last week in the MLB. Went to extra innings for the second year in a row, with the AL coming out on top. American League's just been better, I guess, in recent years. Home Run Derby, everyone's trying to say it was fixed because Bryce Harper cheated somehow, apparently, and that like he shouldn't have been having his dad throw to him. Who really cares? If you're knocking it out of the park, you knock it out of the park. Quit complaining, Cubs fans, just because Kyle Schwarber didn't win it. You had two players in there, and neither one of them won. So, who's really to blame here? Talk about Manny Machado getting sent to the Dodgers for some prospects. I have yet to see names for that. I'm sure they're probably out there by now. I just haven't looked. The Mets pitcher, Giri's Familia, was traded to the A's. So that gives them a good reliever to come in and help them out. The market for Chris Archer is supposedly heating up. He hasn't been very good this year, but people are still wanting to pick him up. Not really seeing any specific teams that are interested, but wouldn't be a bad pickup for any team. Chris Archer is a pretty good pitcher. He might just be slumping right now because he's playing with a pretty bad Rays team. Orioles interest. Machado's gone, obviously. He got traded to the Dodgers basically the day after the All-Star game. Now Zach Britton possibly getting traded. Teams looking at him: Astros, Cubs, Dodgers, Giants, Phillies, Red Sox, and possibly even the Yankees. Yankees are just looking for anybody who can hit it out of the park, really. Yankees just want to outscore everybody. And that's kind of working, and it's kind of biting them in the ass because if they're not hitting home runs, it seems like their big guns are striking out, a.k.a. Stanton, Judge, Brett Gardner, maybe, Gary Sanchez. They ain't hitting home runs, they're striking out. I will say, I'm blanking on his name now. I have to look this up or else this is going to bug me. Where is this at? Didi Gregorius, that's it. That's what I was saying, like, Didi Gregorius had a wonderful game the other night against the Mets. At the point I was watching him and I was at work, he was 3 for 3 with like all doubles, I think is what it was, doubles or triples. So he was having a hell of a game the other night. No wonder they won. I'm kind of surprised that the Twins are even shopping Brian Dozier because I thought he was supposed to be like one of their main points of this new team moving forward. And now teams are trying to trade him. Apparently, the Brewers are the number one team that are looking at him right now. So that could be a move coming in. Now I'm seeing Jose Abreu from the White Sox. Yeah, no, they're going to keep him for the rest of the year. He's their future first baseman unless they get a really good deal for him. Otherwise, I don't see him going anywhere. And apparently, the demand for Asdrubal Cabrera is going through the roof now. The Mariners, the Brewers, and the Diamondbacks are all looking at him. And who knows? He may or may not go anywhere. So that's all I'm seeing here for trade rumors in the MLB. Oh, yes. And we do need to take a moment to say rest in peace, Tony Sparano. He passed this last evening. I thought I saw it was a heart problem, but it was just kind of sudden out of nowhere. I think they said it was 56. So thoughts and prayers out to the Sparano family. He was a really good coach. He got overlooked quite a bit. I really thought he was going to be the future coach there in Miami and be there more than like 3 years, but he had a terrible team and they got rid of him. So sorry to hear that for the Sparano family. See if there's anything else here. Trying to see if there's anything else going on. Oh, Johnny Manziel got traded. Did the Cubs win? I thought they did. It's not my team, so I don't pay attention very closely. Why is everything being stupid right now? I'm trying to look for you. I really am. Yeah, 7-2. So up in Canada, their football season's underway, and Johnny Manziel got traded. He was with the Hamilton Tiger Cats, and what was this, a few hours ago? He got traded to the Montreal Alouettes. I'm guessing it's because Hamilton already had a set starter, and they didn't really want to dethrone him. So now, well, I don't know if Montreal has a set starter or not, but said part of the reason that they traded him was because he was not starting and believed he would be better off elsewhere. Yeah, that's a interesting move. Doesn't really mean a whole lot, obviously, because it's Johnny Manziel in Canada. But so be. Apparently, Terrell Owens really does want to come back, and he's free to sign with any Canadian league team. So weird. Noah Syndergaard on the DL again. Dude can't stay healthy. This time, though, at least it's not an injury. He has a virus, a viral illness. So he should be back soon. Apparently, the Blue Jays want to get rid of Josh Donaldson now. They might as well just get rid of the best players, or get rid of like Donaldson and Pilar and whoever they can get good players for and just start to rebuild because the Blue Jays aren't really doing a whole lot. They're kind of like right there floating in the middle, not doing anything. I guess the biggest story of the NBA today is Tobias Harris passed on an $80 million extension. So maybe he's trying to get out of LA after this next season. Who knows? Last week, the Summer League tournament wrapped up. The Blazers played the Lakers in the Summer League championship, and the Blazers got the win. Josh Hart got MVP of the Summer League for the Lakers. Dude played really well throughout the whole Summer League, so kind of deserved it. Kawhi Leonard got traded. I guess that's the big thing we haven't mentioned yet. Got traded to the Raptors for DeMar DeRozan, which is weird. Like I know the Spurs are old and they're trying to like get younger people in there. Now, do they still have Manu Ginobili? I thought they did. They got rid of Tony Parker left, so yeah, he's still there. Yeah, Manu's still there, but Tony Parker's gone now, so kind of fills a void with Parker being gone. But on the same end, like it was really awful of Toronto to trade DeRozan because he loved Toronto. He was a big fan favorite, and now he's like super sad that he's even gone. And there's still talks that Kawhi may not even play. Like, dude's still making millions of dollars and just sitting on the bench watching basketball games. Like, that's the life. But he could be like a top 10, top 5 NBA player in the league. And he's kind of just throwing his career away at this point. Like, yeah, I know he's got a little bit of injuries here and there, but like just sitting out because you're unhappy, like, dude, come on, play better, and other teams will make, they'll be forced to make a big trade or pay you a bunch of money because they really want you or really need you. And now that they're in Toronto, or that he is in Toronto, maybe the management there will be more likely to make a deal because Popovich down in San Antonio was not going to trade him to the Lakers. And that's why he wanted such an astronomical amount for him. And then once, other teams were like, hey, do you want to trade him here? Excuse me. He was kind of like, okay, yeah, I'll trade him there, but I ain't trading him to go play with LeBron. I still think Kyrie, even with Kawhi going there, I still think Kyrie and Giannis are the two best players in the East. Boy, some soccer that nobody cares about anymore because it's not the World Cup. What's up? How's it going? I'm doing well. Yeah, but not too many people here really care about Premier League. Honestly, couldn't even tell you a single team that's in the Premier League. Oh, Jared Sullinger's back in the news getting into a fight with people. I couldn't tell you any team or what in the Premier League. And is it like, I don't even know. I had a hard time keeping up with the World Cup because I didn't understand it, let alone let's go into how all these random players from different countries come together on this one team. Yeah. Because it's like, oh, let's go play for all these European teams. And then it's like, oh, World Cup, I'm going to go play for this third world country because I'm from there. Though it was kind of a neat story, that one dude that was like, he's only like 19, maybe, that plays for England that is from like Colombia. They're like, dude, if you want to get out of all this poverty and Like I understand the fact that there's a club, like the difference between a club team and a national team, but I don't get the whole like I'm going to go play halfway across the world for fun, and then when it comes to like World Cup time, I'm going to go back halfway across the world because I'm from this other country. I don't understand that part of it. It's like there's a bunch of NBA players that are from other countries, but it still would rather play for America in like the FIBA World Cup. Like I don't even know how many players. It's very few that actually go back. Or even Insomniac. Yeah, it's a fun time. Ben Simmons hasn't even been around long enough to even play for Australia. Or did he play when he was like 15? Like I never hear anything about Dirk playing for Germany. I hear Manu Ginobili um, playing for Spain. Or is he France and Tony? No, Tony Parker's France. Though Thon Maker did, he's the most recent one that anybody's talked about, but more so because he's throwing knees and fights in the middle of games. Yeah, but they still claim to be from 100 other places. How many of the Canadian guys go back up and play for Canada? That's all right. Let's go ahead and look it up here. Nobody really talks about them a whole lot. And I'm sure most of them that do actually play. Yeah, but they can qualify for the FIBA basketball dealio. They do suck, but they got 39 NBA players from there, 28 from Serbia, 27 from France. Is this all time? I'm guessing this is all time because that's an outrageous number of people. Okay, this one at least says current. I don't know what his name is. It was just no, he plays for England in like the club whatever league that is. His club team is in England, but he played for the Colombian national team, I believe. I just don't get the whole like, hey, I live in England, I play professional sports here in England, probably, but I'm going to go back and play with this group of guys because why not? I just don't get it. It just seems dumb. Why not take the people that are already there? I know. Why do we need so many different teams anyways? Like soccer is just like a completely foreign thing to me because growing up playing soccer, it made sense. And then it's like once you get to like the professional level, it's like, okay, there's a billion different teams to play for. We all play in different leagues and whatever. and then there's also your national team. So don't worry about that for 3 years at a time. It's not really that complicated. It just seems dumb to me. I mean, people were trying to explain the rules of soccer a few weeks ago when we were talking about World Cup stuff, and it's like, okay, this just seems like a made up sport now because it's like you can play until somebody says stop, and you don't even know when that's going to be. Hello, how are you? I'm doing well. Because every other sport actually has like a set time limit. If you don't get it done in that time, you either win or lose. Not like, hey, we had to keep the clock running because a guy fell over and hurt himself intentionally. And I think we're going to add about 5 minutes to it, but I'm not sure. So when I feel like ending the game, I'm just going to end it. Like soccer's the only sport that does that. Any other sport stops the clock and says, hey, deal with this. You got 12 minutes left. I was we were discussing like foreign sports and mostly like soccer stuff. And I'm saying like soccer's becomes like a made up sport once you start adding on extra time because it's like yeah you can keep going back and forth, but nobody really knows until it's going to end until the ref randomly just goes by the way game's over. I say foreign sports because I literally don't know a single person that like personally, I don't know anybody that cares about soccer. Like none of my friends actually watch it. I think I know like one guy from my high school that actually pays any attention to soccer professionally. No, I mean I've started watching a little bit of rugby and stuff. Rugby and like Australian football. That's a good time. I watched a few games of the World Baseball Classic. There is a whole world out there. There's just a handful of sports that don't matter here in America that I don't even understand. Like I don't understand how cricket works. I talked to an Australian guy about that for like an hour and it just didn't make any sense. Australian league football made more sense than cricket did. I'm not saying they're better. I'm just saying I don't understand that one, so I don't watch it or pay any attention to it. Over there, like I know Australia versus England in cricket is like this huge ordeal, but like here nobody understands it. Same thing goes like for over there. Like I've had plenty of people get on here and they're like, "Hey, what's up? I'm from Serbia. What is football?" I'm like, "Okay, let's talk about it then. I'll explain it to you." Well, we don't even know where this person is from, so we can't just be saying what they're used to. They could be living here in America and just actually care about that. See, I was trying not to assume because you never know, but that's why I was saying you might just be one of those people that actually pays attention to these sports outside of this country. Oh, so what else is going on in the sports world, people? Not a whole lot, honestly. I mean, and maybe if I understood it, I would be all for it. I don't understand it, so I don't watch it. I'm not saying it's bad or good. Just saying I don't get it, so I don't watch it. I don't care to take time to figure it out. Plus, it's hard to watch cricket here. Like the soccer that's on is just the U.S. teams mostly. Close enough, 8 or 9. Glenn, what is up, my guy? How is Australia today? It is going. From Eastern time, not Eastern time. So that'd be another hour. Yeah, I noticed you weren't here last week. What were you doing? Were you actually busy? You forgot. How do you forget, Glenn? You've been here every week for months and you forget? LeBron James does not play in Germany. Where am I? I'm at my apartment, Glenn. Oh, soccer player? I couldn't even tell you who the best soccer player is. Yeah, as far as most people know here, Ronaldo, I guess, is like the best soccer player from all the hype he gets. I don't know. Like, I didn't even know that guy's name until the World Cup came along. And didn't he play? Yeah, he played for Germany. I couldn't even tell you who the best American player is. Yes, Donald. Indeed. Okay, so he plays for a club in Germany, even though he's from America. Is that what we're establishing here? I'm just trying to understand at this point. I'm not trying to argue. It is. Yeah. And Messi is from Argentina and plays in whatever, what is that, a Spanish Spain club because it's in Madrid or whatever team. Yeah, why not? You're already there. You're already playing with guys. Yeah, you're already there and you're already playing with guys that you're good with. Throw them out there. Why are we talking about soccer? The Premier League got brought up. So we started talking about all kinds of stuff. Well, what do you want to talk about then, Glenn? You want to talk about LeBron? Okay. Why do you want to talk about LeBron? What's up with LeBron? A kind viewer who's actually creating conversation, unlike other people that have just been popping in, watching for a few minutes and leaving. Is LeBron going to win a championship with the Lakers? He will not this year nor next year. By his third year, they will have enough time to make a couple moves, get guys experience like Josh Hart and Kyle Kuzma, get them better experience. Honestly, I think they should start Rajon Rondo over uh, Lonzo Ball because Ball is just not there yet. Fortnite is the best sport. We're not talking about esports right now, Donald. Plus, all those guys got to get used to playing with LeBron right now. Like, they may make the playoffs. Who, that Spurs guy? What are you talking about? Kawhi Leonard? He got traded. He got traded to Toronto. And now DeMar DeRozan is playing in San Antonio. Yes, NFL preseason is starting soon. Next Thursday is the Hall of Fame game. That'll be exciting. Something to actually watch. Who's playing? I thought it was like the Ravens and somebody. The Bears and the Ravens. Yeah, it'll honestly probably be kind of a crappy game, but it'll be something to watch, at least for a little bit. Because by the time you get to like second quarter, it'll be garbage. Dude, you ran him off by saying how dumb soccer is. It was quite the conversation because we started talking about Premier League, and I said I can't even tell you a single. Oh, and apparently, if you call them a team, nobody knows what you're talking about. You have to call it a club, or else nobody will understand. But yeah, I said I can't name a single team out of the Premier League, and they were like, "What do you mean a team? What are you talking about?" And it just like skyrocketed from there. Okay, I can list off a bunch of random European soccer teams. Do I know if they're in the Premier League or the I don't know what other leagues? No, but I'll throw them out there for you. Yeah, Manchester United, Real Madrid. There's one other Madrid team, like Madrid United. And again, I thought about this the other day. Why is every soccer team like United or FC? Like, I get the FC stands for football club, but why do you have to have that included in your like title? Like, technically the New York Giants in the NFL are the New York Football Giants, because the baseball team, well, the San Francisco Giants, the baseball team used to be in New York, so they had to call them different things. But like you don't see them abbreviated as NY or NYFG. So I don't understand why every soccer team has to be United or FC or whatever. And what is Real? What is that? Is that just like a foreign word, or is that like another club term? I don't know. Yeah, that'd be stupid. Green Bay, okay. And then like we were talking about like the national versus club teams, and I'm like, why don't you just stay in your country that you're already in and play against everybody else instead of like, hey, I'm going to go halfway across the world to play soccer, like 3 years out of the time, out of time. And but then like on that fourth year, I'm going to spend half the year with this across the country, and then half the year back, or well, not even half the year, like a couple months back, and then traveling around playing with this random group of guys that I've been playing soccer with for a month. Like you'd figure the national teams would do so much better if they just said, "Hey, this is like the best club team in our country." Spain would probably end up being a hell of a lot better because then they'd have Messi and some other gonna be here a while. Depends. I mean, we're already been here like 40 minutes. And if there's no conversation after that, probably jump off, you know. What do you think you're working? S. Half hour? I might still be here, Glenn. Depends. Just another white man. That sounds like a name Scotty would use on here. But what's up, white guy? I think the Saints got to Super Bowl. I mean, they got a lot of firepower on offense. They can get pretty far. That defense, I think, is still a little sketchy, even though their secondary is starting to come along now with those young guys. Completely blew it against the Vikings, though. That inexperience. Mississippi State making the playoff or the championship game. Sweep the World Series next year. Okay. College World Series, I should say. I mean, it's all possible. I mean, I'd much rather see Mississippi State in there than Alabama. So if you can make that happen, more power to you. Any updates on the Sean McCoy? I think they're just like in that like purgatory zone of like we're still investigating. Because for the first couple days there, I saw, of course, the initial story. He beat the crap out of this chick and like her dog or someone dog. Yep, he's still in Buffalo. Then it was she set him up to do it somehow, and then it was she faked it and just blamed him for it. So I don't know. That's just what I've seen and heard from other sources. Oh, did you keep him? Why did you keep him? You didn't have anybody better to keep? Like, yeah, LaShawn McCoy's a good player, but he's on that Buffalo team that is okay. Oh, geez, you're one of those people. If your favorite team doesn't make it, well, I can always root for Tom Brady. That's not how that works, man. Real fans root for one team. They do need a stronger QB in Buffalo. That's why everybody's hoping that Josh Allen is the answer. Um, yeah, the Saints are your favorite team, then you can't just be jumping and saying that, oh, well, if they don't make it, Tom Brady, go Brady. You can't do that. Bandwagoning, man. It's awful. Yeah, whatever. Let's see how it is. So you want him to have like 350 yards, 3 touchdowns, but then like them still lose. So you can be like, yeah, he played really good. It's just the rest of the team that sucks. No, we were talking about LaShawn McCoy, so we got on topic about talking about the Bills. So stick with him. Don't be hoping Brady plays well. Just watch his like early 2000s stuff and then hope he goes away in like a year or two. The sooner the better. For his own health. We had a fun discussion at the bar the other night. One of my friends got drunk and he wanted to get into the argument of like best quarterbacks in the league right now and about that's it's possible. I mean, what is it, Ray Rice? He can come back, I thought, but no team is signing him. So like LaShawn McCoy could come back, but it depends on who if anybody wants to sign him. And like Ray Rice, honestly, I don't think he was like the big boom player, like, oh my gosh, he's a free agent, have to sign him. But like LaShawn McCoy could be. Yeah, he's at the end of his career, but he's still really productive. And yeah, Buffalo does have a hard time signing big name free agents. So that like because they got crappy weather, smaller market team, upstate New York. Like if people want to go to New York, they want to go to New York City and play for the Giants or the Jets. More to the Giants, honestly, but right. But see, then like you could say the same thing for like Seattle, Green Bay, not really Minnesota anymore. Um, Detroit, Chicago, maybe not really Detroit because they play in a dome, um, but then you get the same factor of like, okay, Buffalo was like good in the '70s, yeah, when they had OJ, and then like in the '90s when they had like Jim Kelly and Andre Reed and that really good defense. Exactly, that's what I'm getting at. Is like they don't have the Bills don't have a lot, but then if you look at the other cold teams like Seattle recently, obviously, Green Bay for most of their existence, in all honesty. Um, the Vikings when they used to be outside, even though they haven't been outside in a while. Kelly, Jim Kelly. He even didn't want to go there on draft night when they were saying like, "Hey, where do you not want to play?" He's like, "I don't want to play anywhere cold. I don't want to go to Green Bay. I don't want to go to Minnesota. I don't want to go to Buffalo." The Buffalo drafted him. He's like, "Nope, USFL, so you can play in Texas." Yeah, in Jacksonville, remember Minnesota played college? Yeah, and they had like one of the coldest playoff games in NFL history. But yeah, like Jacksonville though, that's like warm Florida, a team that's kind of on the rise, and you can make a lot of money because they don't really have a whole lot of highly paid people there right now. So that one's easy one. Like, hey, do you want to play in a semi crappy division where we could make the playoffs or we could not? Yeah, Leonard Fournette's there now, so you got a really good running back. That defense is stacked. The offense is so. It's there every now and then with Bortles. So it's like, come on now. Do you want to go there? Bortles is okay. He has his moments. Minnesota after the cold playoff game. Why? Because of the whole Blair Walsh thing, and everybody was like blaming him, but then like to the media, they're like, "No, I never said that." He like despised the team and left. Oh yeah. Oh, the QB deal after with Teddy Bridgewater. Was that the year he blew out his knee like in practice out of nowhere? I think it was. Where's Bridgewater now? He plays for the Jets. I don't know if they have a depth chart together right now, but I'm pretty sure he's like third string Jets. Kurt who? Jackson. That's QB depth chart. We'll see if they've got anything. Any injuries that guy had? Bridgewater, he's had a decent amount, honestly. I thought they still had Christian Hackenberg. Oh, that's right. The Raiders signed him. Okay. Okay, so Bridgewater is the backup to Josh McCown now, and Darnold is the third string. And they signed Terrell Pryor. Nice. Should have kept Lopez, who uh what's his nuts? That's in Denver now. Yeah, I mean Kurt Warner was terrible with the Giants. Yeah, Jets apparently signed Terrell Pryor. I didn't see that until just now. Even though it says what is he's on the IR or something. Yeah, he's got an ankle injury preventing him from probably playing or start or yeah, practicing the beginning of camp. The Jets wide receiver depth chart is like really sad. Like you got Robbie Anderson, who we don't even know if he's even going to be able to play because he keeps having all these like allegations against him and drug related things. But he's like good. But but like on most teams, Robbie Anderson's like a fourth string receiver. I think they could. Eagles definitely have most of their guys back, plus a better quarterback coming back. So they very well could. Because they're dumb. Minnesota thinks they're going to bring in Kirk Cousins and he's going to be instantly good. be an upgrade over. Why can't I think of his name? Case Keenum. That's who it is. Yeah, they could have probably kept Keenum at a pretty low price, but instead they decided to throw a bunch of money at Kirk Cousins. Yeah, but hey, that's what a lot of people do. Go out and sign who you think is going to be big in the deal, and you take a chance on them being nothing, getting hurt, or who knows. Like, hey, you're going to give me a 3-year extension if we win this game. Like, okay. And he wins the game. Like, all right, damn. No. And like, it's hard to tell with Keenum, like, did he just find a system he plays really well in, or did he have one really good breakout year? Because like Case Keenum's not bad, but he's definitely a system guy, which a lot of guys are turning into that. Like if they don't play in the correct system, they're gonna suck. Because like Nick Foles did the same thing. Like when he was in Philadelphia the first time, he was in a similar system to what he's got now, and he played really well. And then when he left and went to the Rams and to the Chiefs, he was terrible. And then he went back to the Eagles into that offense he ran in college, and he succeeded. And yes, Keenum did get the crap beat out of him against the Eagles. The Eagles whooped them in that game. I thought that game was going to be a lot closer than what it was because the Vikings scored like right away, but then it was all Eagles from that. Chiefs are okay. Yeah, they're okay, but I mean, like when Nick Foles was with the Chiefs, not last year, but like the year before, he was only there for like part of the year, and he was terrible, so they cut him. You Manziel go crack pipe. He could. You never know. He could, or he could just sign as a backup everywhere and collect millions of dollars sitting on the bench. And what was the question before? Now I read it and then I was going to answer right after that, and I can't even think of what it was now. Sorry. Yeah, Manziel got traded from Hamilton to Montreal. Oh, that's right. Is Wentz going to start? There's the reports are saying that Wentz is doing really well, and he doesn't seem to be having any setbacks or limitations. Um, it's pretty much going to be like a player and coach decision whether or not he starts or sits like a week or two. I think he'll probably start week 1. And I'm kind of surprised that the Eagles aren't trading Nick Foles, but they're probably thinking if we keep him for this last year of his contract and if we really need him in case Carson's knee goes out again, then we got him, which is smart. But it's like they could have probably got a pretty good. Where's Andy Dalton? He's still with the Bengals. But they probably could have got a pretty good chunk of draft picks or players from a team for Foles after that performance. He's got to hit it while it's hot. You get a guy that plays really good for a year, boom, trade him, sign him, whatever. That's how a lot of guys do. That's what Case Keenum just did. He had a really good year and then signed a big contract with Denver. Dalton was good for like his first like 3 years, and then after that, it's like his confidence just disappeared. My nose is really bothering me right now. I don't know why. Yeah, it's like his confidence disappeared, and then like the team started slowly falling apart and getting old too. So not entirely on him, but partly on him. Yeah, he still has his flashes that are like that still says like, "Hey man, I'm good." Yeah, AJ Green's still good, but he's like can't stay healthy very long now. And he'll show up for a game, and like the next game, he won't even be around. The Jets signed Thomas Rawls from the Seahawks, and he's their fourth string running back. What happened to AP, Adrian Peterson? I feel like he should play Foles and Wentz at the same time. That'd be weird. Yeah, Carr just needs to get his confidence back, and he'll be perfectly fine. Trying to think, I think he only had Adrian Peterson. I think he only had that 1 year contract with the Cardinals. So now he's technically a free agent, or maybe he is still. Yeah, he's a free agent right now. He said he still wants to play, though, even though he's 33 years old. Yes, John Gruden is back in Oakland. So apparently, it's possible. So apparently, Adrian Peterson really wants to play for the Texans. Apparently, it's because he lives in Houston, um, and his mom lives there too. So he's trying to be close to family playing for the Texans. Yeah, and I don't really see Adrian Peterson going to the Texans either, just because of who knows. There's a lot of things that could have come from that. Yeah, so they said that this, or at least this, is saying that if the Texans want to sign Adrian Peterson, then they're going to have to get him to sign for a really small contract because they've got Lamar Miller and Dante Foreman. Oh, the reason he left Minnesota, he had a couple injuries right there at the end of his Minnesota era. And once McKinnon and Asiata kind of started taking over, they were like, well, Adrian Peterson's old. He's not going to be around much longer. Let's just move on. So, and it was like right around the same time all that stuff was happening. So it could be partly because that was happening, but it's also those other two. But hey, they got Dalvin Cook and Latavius Murray. No worries. Even though Dalvin Cook's coming off an ACL injury, who knows how well he's going to play after that. And Latavius Murray did not do very well last year. I need to quit eating these. Jeez, Adrian Peterson wants to play until like 2021. If anybody signs him. All right, phone, stop buzzing. It's possible Eric Carlson could end up in. Yes, I am in Illinois. Sadly, he could end up in Vegas. Kind of depends on if he actually. Well, let's see. I kind of lost track of his saga there. Yeah, still trying to trade him. So I know last year there was several teams that were interested in trying to sign Eric Carlson or trade for him, I should say, and the trade was not going to go down. But he's still with Ottawa, and yeah, they were not going to trade him for whatever reason. So yeah, Vegas has a lot going for him right now. Not only were they just in the Stanley Cup and successful as hell last year, but they've got cap space and players, like you said, and draft picks. So they could get him. They could also just not worry about it. Daniel Ondongo, is that who you're talking about? That was a few years ago. I know there was another guy from like Russia, or not Russia, Australia, or maybe it was New Zealand, that was coming over to apparently try out for the NFL, but he just wanted to be a lineman. I don't know. That story was big for like a week, and then it completely disappeared. Um, let's see. Oh, Jordan Mailata. He got drafted actually by the Eagles. I don't know exactly what he's going to be playing though. 6'8", 346. Yeah, he's going to try and be an offensive lineman. Dude looks big enough that he could be like a tight end. Who knows? He's with the Eagles. As of now, he hasn't been cut from what I'm seeing. I'm glad we're getting close to NFL time because I'm sick of trying to make conversation out of boring baseball games, soccer, and off seasons topics. The question every NFL team must answer. I'm sorry, you did it wrong then because Tom Brady is terrible and America is okay. Yeah, so a lot of reports and a couple videos I've seen of Aaron Rodgers throwing. He says everything's perfectly fine. He's ready to go. I'm actually really excited. As a Packers fan, I'm really excited for Green Bay this year because they finally got rid of Ted Thompson as GM. They got rid of Dom Capers as defensive coordinator, brought in a guy who actually knows how to run a defense, drafted some good defensive players. Aaron Rodgers might finally have a good team around him again. Be a first since 2010. 2011 was okay, but that was like 90% Aaron Rodgers. No, starting running back is going to be Aaron Jones, I'm pretty sure. Well, would be, but he's going to be suspended for the first like 3 games, I believe it is. So it's going to be Jamal Williams to start, which I think he's got the ability to be the starting running back anyways, but it depends on what the coaches want to do with him. Because I know he has to start. Ty Montgomery is kind of going to be like, I think he's going to return kicks and punts as well as be like a third down back and then like a guy that they can shift out and be like a wide receiver. No, they'll be back in the playoffs for sure. Jamal Williams was from BYU. Huh. Reading this story about it's the biggest question for every NFL team, and the one for better angle here so I can Relax, bit. um, the one for Arizona is what are they going to do with David Johnson? Are they going to re-sign him? Is he going to even be the same player he was before after this injury? Who knows? Amendola, he's in Miami now. Atlanta Falcons, how can they get more out of Steve Sarkisian? Give him alcohol? That's how. How big of a role can Lamar Jackson handle as a rookie in Baltimore? Well, that really depends. Is Joe Flacco going to be crappy Joe Flacco from last year, or is he going to be like pretty good Joe Flacco from like 5 years ago? Who knows? Yeah, I mentioned that earlier in the show. We've been going for a little over an hour here, so I mentioned that first few minutes. Yeah, Tony Sperano passed away last night, age 56. Let's see. The question for the Bills is, can Josh Allen challenge for the starting job? Of course he can. Was it a heart attack? I thought it was something heart related. Here, we'll just look it up to confirm. I don't think they've actually come out with an official cause of death. It says he died unexpectedly, and then he said he had some chest pains earlier, or like towards the end of last week, so he went to the hospital for it. Oh, thank you. Have a good night. Come, subscribe or follow whatever it is on Periscope. Come back next week. We can chit chat some more. Um, yeah. So he underwent some tests and stuff, and they said he was okay. And then this morning they found him, or his wife found him unconscious, and they could not revive him. So there's that for you. Yeah, 56 years old. It's too young to be going. Back to the biggest question for every NFL team. The Bills, Josh Allen challenging for the starting job. Of course he can. They just brought in AJ McCarron. He's a very unproven player in the league right now. McCarron is. He's had a very few playing opportunities with the Bengals. And I don't even think he's thrown for more than like 250 yards in a game. If so, it was only like one time. So his experience varies because it's not very much, and his performance wasn't outstanding. Josh Allen can definitely challenge for the starting job. Panthers, who replaces Andrew Norwell? I'm sure they'll be able to find some sort of, what is he, right tackle, it looks like? Maybe it's right guard. Anywho, Bears, how much of the offense can Trubisky absorb by week one? Depends. How good is he? How good is he at learning a new offense, and how good is Matt Nagy as a coach? To answer that, Bengals, can the offense come close to its actual potential? Cam comes out of the closet. That's possible too. Have you ever seen how he types on Instagram? Bengals, can they come close to their potential? They can. It's just a matter of do they. Browns, who's the new left tackle after Joe Thomas leaves? Do they even have a name? Sean. Oh, they got four different guys that they're looking at to put at left tackle: Sean Coleman, Austin Corbett, Greg Robinson, and even their starting guard Joel Bitonio. Well, who knows? Still like Mariota? Oh yeah, he's a really good quarterback, and he's getting things together there in Tennessee. How's Deshaun Watson going to be after his injury? He's looking good. Like the videos that he's been posting, looks like he's got good movement. He's putting normal pressure and everything on it. I think he tore his ACL early enough in the season that by now he should be perfectly fine because he did that like week 6, I think. So he still had 10 weeks of the actual NFL season. And then from, February, which was, end of the Super Bowl, till now, he's had plenty of time. It's going to be almost an entire year he's had to recover. So I think he'll be great. And yes, he was tearing it up in that rookie season of his where he only played 5 games, I think. So yeah, he'll be fine. Top question for the Dallas Cowboys. Who will be Prescott's go-to guy? Terrence Williams, probably, or Cole Beasley, because other than that, they don't really have anything. They brought in Tavon Austin and Allen Hurns. Depends on how well they work together, if he can, create like a repertoire with them or not. Definitely, Houston will win that division. Colts are in shambles right now. Yeah, a little bit does, mind you, Vic. Colts are in shambles right now. Jags have a really good defense, but they need offense because Houston can put points up on the board. We saw that in the game against Seattle and the game against the Patriots where they scored 50 plus. So the Jags need to be able to score points too, and if they don't do that defensively, their offense is questionable because they got Leonard Fournette and then the Titans. They're like that team that's going to pester you, but not really like win the division and beat you. You know. Denver Broncos. What should the backfield look like? It's not going to look like a whole lot. It's going to be like C.J. Anderson and Jamal Charles are both gone, so they're not going to be a whole lot of nothing. Could 2 teams out of that division make the playoffs this year? Yes. If any of the 2 teams from the AFC South are going to make the playoffs, it's going to be Jacksonville and Houston. Possibly the Titans, but I don't think they're good enough to beat both of those 2 teams to outplay them for either the division or a wild card. If everyone stays healthy, that is. For the Lions, how big of a role can Kerryon Johnson handle? I mean, he's a rookie, and they got a couple other guys in front of him. He'll be fine. He's not going to have to handle a whole lot. Updates on Luck. So they came out Friday, I believe, Friday or Saturday. Cutler's gone from the NFL, right? As of now, he's still kind of like a free agent, but he's not really pursuing anything. He even said on like his wife's reality TV show the other day, like, I ain't trying to do nothing right now. Andrew Luck, yeah, I think they said on like Friday or Saturday, he's been completely medically cleared. He will not have any limitations during training camp and should be able to throw perfectly fine. That is, if he actually does throw perfectly fine, we'll have to see. I think the first couple preseason games for him are going to be really a test to see if he can be as good as, hey, Glenn, there you are. We were just talking about Andrew Luck. Yeah, it's going to be a test for him in the first couple preseason games to see how well he's throwing again. What a funny career that guy's had. Andrew Luck, yeah, first overall pick. What was I going to say? I had a whole thing ready. Or was he the second? Was he the same year as Cam Newton? Regardless, top 5 first round pick. Leads the team to playoffs. First, he was number 1. That's what I thought. Who was the number 2 in that year? Because did that same year it was like another 1-2 quarterback situation. Anywho, wrong team for 2. Oh, he was RG3. Okay, so yeah, it was Andrew Luck and RG3. But yeah, if it wasn't for Andrew Luck, they would have not have been in the AFC Championship game a few years ago. RG3 was only a bust because his knee blew out and it never healed correctly because the Redskins were like, hey, I know you're hurting, but get back out there anyways. Yeah. He could have been really good for the Redskins or the Browns, but he didn't really get a whole lot. I mean, he played decent in like one game with the Browns and then got hurt and couldn't play like the rest of the year. He could have been really good with the Redskins, but then he blew out his knee and they're like, hey, you're going back in there anyways. And it just made it even worse to where he wasn't going to come back very healthy. Yeah. Well, and then there was a lot of stuff going around saying that, like, oh, well, Shanahan was racist, and so he didn't want RG3 as his starting quarterback, so he forced him to be injured and get out. Yeah, he could have done track. I thought he didn't. I thought he did do track in college a little bit. Now he's too busy playing other sports against old people at the YMCA. I mean, if the Colts would have taken RG3, they might have actually like done well with him and like not forced him to be permanently knee decrepit. What's Tyler doing? I actually saw him this weekend. He'll probably just do a podcast here and there and not actually come back and do this. Super Bowl prediction. Um, I'm thinking either like Packers, Patriots, or um, like Texans, Eagles, because I think the Texans they've got a really good defense, and if they can keep healthy and consistent on offense, they can make a really good push. So we'll have to see. Jacksonville, I don't know. I don't trust their offense right now to get that far. I thought it was kind of a fluke that they made it to the AFC Championship. They've got a really good defense, but aside from that, their run game's above average, but not great. So who knows? Glenn, you're the only one here now. Well, Glenn, do you have any pressing matters that you want to discuss? Because nobody else is here. I know. Well, you're busy doing other things and not watching. We can make it a special Glenn episode, and I'll just stay here to talk to you while I play Fortnite. My friends are bugging me to come back. Sunny? Snowing? Fine and sunny. Is it hot here? It's not too bad right now. So I'll give you an accurate distinction here. Let's see. Okay, if we're going like Celsius, it's probably about 26. Which sports? Well, what sports do you want to discuss? When am I doing a weather report, Glenn? I'm not a weatherman anymore. I'm upgrading to sports guy. That's why I'm obviously why I'm doing this. No, we're not talking about soccer anymore unless you really want to. Hey, thanks. Some friend of mine got it for me. I don't know why. Mariners. What do we want to talk about the Mariners for? They beat the White Sox today. What do you mean, why not? I don't really care. Football is my number one sport to talk about, but I'll talk about whatever with you as long as I have something to talk about with it. If you want to talk about cricket, we got Glenn in here, so apparently he thinks you look hot. So there's that too. But yeah, I guess whatever you want to talk about. I guess I have a little bit of Midwest bias because the Mariners are out west. Nobody really cares about them around here. Who's gonna be Buffalo's QB? We kind of touched on that earlier. Josh Allen can compete for the starter position. Um, AJ McCarron is very unproven. No, that's okay. I'm just saying. We talked about it earlier. Um, AJ McCarron's very unproven right now, so it's who knows if he can actually be like decent. And then Nathan Peterman was supposed to be like the dark horse, like really good quarterback from last year, and then a couple times he actually played, he sucked. So while Peterman has the upper hand in um, the like knowing the offense already, yeah, Pickerman. While he has the upper hand of knowing the offense, the other guys might be able to beat him out simply by out of skill. Yeah, he threw way too much. Well, I mean, it was like his first game. I'm sure he was jittery. Regardless, you shouldn't throw 6 picks in a game, let alone a half. No. Jeez. With Mayfield, honestly, I think it might end up being like Brandon Whedon. He'll lead them to like a 6-10 season or like a 500 season, and everybody will be like, "Ugh, you're still terrible." Next Johnny Football, or will he handle business? I don't think he's going to go the same path as Johnny Manziel, as in like drugs and alcohol and getting cut. Um, but he's going to be a similar type player. But like, yeah, I think he's going to end up being like a Brandon Whedon, and he's going to, improve them greatly from no wins or 1 win to like 6 or 7, and they're still going to be like, no, you're terrible, get out. That's just what the Browns do. Like, nobody has faith in anybody. Nobody wants to give anybody a chance for more than a season and a half. Is T.O. in the CFL? No, but he can sign if he wants to. What about the Colts? Andrew Luck, like usual. Yeah, so Andrew Luck got medically cleared to throw and participate in all training camp drills coming up without any limitations. So we'll have to see. The first couple preseason games for him are probably going to be huge because it's going to determine how well he's able to like zip passes in and such, and if his shoulder's going to hold up for an entire game. Hello, how are you? Everyone wants to talk about Luck because it's like, what are you going to do with him? It's all your fault, Glenn, with the Colts name on here. Здравствуйте. Well, last season, they definitely had the potential to make the playoffs, if anything, but Houston got derailed by injuries last year. This year, if they stay healthy, I think Houston's going to be really good. They'll have a good run game with Dante Foreman and Lamar Miller. Then obviously they've got DeAndre Hopkins. A healthy Deshaun Watson will be really good. Yeah, the Rams are. Is JJ healthy? Yeah, he's perfectly fine now too. Apparently, he's posting it pictures on Instagram. He looks all jacked and whatever. I'm understanding you perfectly fine right now. It's not the greatest grammatically, but it's enough that I get what you're saying. You're good. Yeah, JJ Watt's posting pictures of himself being all jacked and working out and stuff, so I'm sure he's fine. Yeah, Rams, after that 13-3 season, how do they rebound from that? Do they improve or stay the same? Honestly, I think they could stay about the same, being around 13-3, 12-4. Another team on the rise, though, in that NFC West, obviously the Niners. Are they going to be there this coming season? No. Next season, maybe. The season after that, definitely. They'll be fighting for first place, I'm sure. What do you mean, no? They got a quarterback now. They got a GM that's actually putting a team together instead of just signing whoever. They got a coach that's already been successful for offense. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of whiners in this league. Look at that one team out east. Right. That's why I said not this year, maybe next year, the year after for sure. Look at Glenn shooting a shot. That a boy. 2018, shoot your shot. Might as well. He's still going. No shots left. See, that's what I'm trying to do. So that's what I'm here for. Glenn, you're married. Get out of here. Yeah, that's what I'm going for. I mean, I ended up not being able. I was originally trying to be a yeah. That's why this is pretty well. Obviously, if we're talking sports. You got to practice to be good. This is practice. Then you get good and get paid for it. Still in college, dude. One more year left. Then I can get paid to do it. Sports gambling. It's legal now. True. I mean, not anymore in 2018. You share your opinion, everyone's going to berate you. So, is it legal everywhere? I don't know. Everywhere. It is here in America now. School major. So, we don't have like TV broadcasting as a major. So, I'm journalism. It's like our major that's on TV because we have our own TV station. So, and like what Glenn was saying earlier, like when you give in the weather report, like I used to be the weather guy for the news station. I'm not anymore. I'm the sports guy. But yeah, so I'm a journalism major, even though it's more TV broadcasting stuff. Thank you. You have a good night as well. Feel free to follow. I'm here pretty much every Sunday. If you ever want to chit chat again? Glenn, are you the only one left now? Oh no, somebody else is here aside from Glenn. Look at you. Look at you, guy. All right, Glenn. Well, everybody's gone now, and you're a little head in the clouds there with that girl being on here. I think that was her real picture, possibly. I don't know. I didn't really get to look at it because it's like this big on my screen. But have a good one, my dude. I will see you next week if you don't forget about us. Jeez. And